So green apple, lemon, banana, and green tea powder, matcha green tea powder. Need a little extra kick today. Cheers. Oh, I'm full. Morning, guys. All right, you can see my poison ivy it's okay, it hasn't spread, so that's a good, or my mango allergy hasn't spread, so that's a good sign. I wanted to make a note here before I get into my day. I'm basically filming recipes for you guys all day, filming, photographing, and everything for the blog. I wanted to make a note about flavors. Something I realized over the last few years of being a nutritarian, going, up and down through different cycles. I've noticed, I think I mentioned this to you guys before, but I've noticed at certain times, like there have been times where I've had to get rid of something, like spinach, for instance, or cocoa powder, or those are the two main ones that I could think of. But spinach for me was a huge crutch in the beginning because I would use it all the time as my green because it didn't taste like anything in smoothies, and I used to have smoothies all the time, and I would use it in my salads, and it basically was ODing on spinach in the beginning. And it was just a crutch. It was so easy for me to use. I didn't have to taste it or anything. I wasn't a big fan of kale at the time. I didn't know anything much about the cruciferous, and I knew that I didn't really like them very much. So I would just use spinach a lot. Then I got the kidney stones, and so kidney stones, you have to stay away from things like spinach, Swiss chard, parsley, beet greens, and there's another one, I can't think of it, but those 5 things you have to avoid at all costs. So when I found out I had to avoid spinach, I was like actually kind of devastated. I remember crying in my car in the parking garage after going to the urologist because it was on the list of things you're supposed to avoid. Because I had looked up on Furman's website which things for kidney stones, and those were the things, along with drinking more water and eating less protein. So it's kind of like that really shifted things for me, where it took a few days for me to even like deal with the fact that I had to give up spinach, because I was like, what am I going to do? And then I started to adapt. I started to realize, okay, I have to figure out a way to like kale. I have to figure out a way to use romaine more, use these fine greens that are not as potent in smoothies and things like that. So I started using bok choy. I think when I found out about bok choy, which you want to use the adult varieties because the baby varieties have a really terrible flavor, but use the mild one with the white bottom. It's like when you start to use these new things, you learn more and more and more as you go, right? So like I started to use bok choy a little bit. I started to use more romaine. I started to put a little bit of kale into my smoothies, and I didn't like it at first, but I just was like, well, I don't have a choice, and of course I'm supposed to be having cruciferous stuff every day anyways. So I kept experimenting with these little things, and over time I started to really love the flavor of like green in my smoothie. And that wasn't me before. Speaking of, the smoothie I'm having this morning, it's so green, you guys. Clearly super green, but as a crutch, I didn't add anything else to it. I didn't like add, a bunch of stevia, or I didn't add like a bunch of red apples, or, some really sweet fruits or something like raisins. I didn't add any raisins or anything. And I'm used to this flavor of green because I took the time to get myself used to it. Then this thing happened with cocoa powder, where I started to get like too sensitive to the caffeine in cocoa powder, to where I'd be up like so late. In the very beginning, my biggest crutch as far as sweets was my chocolate peanut butter smoothie, which I still have to this day. I love that smoothie, but I have it in the morning. It's very hefty. It gets me through about 1 to 3 p.m., and then I just have a meal and I don't need any more. It's a really bulky smoothie. I swear by it. I love this smoothie. Link for it is down below. But there was a point, and I have since switched away from using cocoa powder in it because of the caffeine thing, because it keeps me up at night. But I swear, you guys, when I sort of realized that I needed to give up cocoa powder, that was such a crutch for me. I used to use cocoa powder every single day, way too much of it. I mean, it was like spinach and cocoa powder were really the things that got me through in the beginning of my Nutritarian journey. And there might be similar things for you. It might be, whatever. You might have your own thing. But when I finally admitted that I needed to have less cocoa powder, it hurt me. Like, I was really stressed out. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I just didn't know what I was going to do. So at the time, I was making this really terrible breakfast, but it kept me on track because it was super sweet. That's my crutch too, is a lot of sugar, which I'm working on currently. But at the time, I would use a lot of like coconut sugar, thinking it was okay, whatever. But I would make instant oatmeal plus hot water, cocoa sugar, coconut sugar, cocoa powder, and peanut butter. And so it was a sugar bomb, but it was this thing I could make in like a minute and a half. And I love the flavor of it, kept me on track. I just thought it was amazing. And then the cocoa powder started to affect me. And I was like, crap, like, what am I going to do? And that really stressed me out. So I thought, okay. And also I thought that cocoa powder might have something to do with kidney stones too. I don't think it does, personally for me, because I still have, cocoa powder every once in a while, or pretty often actually. And no, not pretty often, but every once in a while. And I haven't had any kidney stone issues in a long time, but knock on wood. So I had to give up the cocoa powder. So there was this day where I was like, I need to find out a new flavor that I like. Like, I need to find out a new flavor. And I was like, what do you do if you don't get chocolate peanut butter flavor? Like, what else is there, Because that's my kryptonite, is chocolate peanut butter flavor, or like Nutella, hazelnut, kind of, can't even, like, oh my God. So I was like, all right, I have to learn to love new flavors. And this was like a psychological, mental, like, I have to really work on this. So I did. The first thing I did was I did a very similar oatmeal recipe, only I did lemon. And I made, it was the same instant oatmeal plus hot water plus tons of coconut sugar, but then lemon juice. And so it made like a lemonade flavored oatmeal. And I loved it. Oh my God, like, I'm thinking about it right now. It's amazing. I loved it so much. I don't have it anymore because of the sugar in it. You're not supposed to have any sugar whatsoever. I experimented sometimes with like blending dates and lemons, or blending dates and berries and then putting in the oatmeal, which worked fine as well. So that was the first flavor I started working with. And since then I've been working with lots of different flavors, like in my regular cooked dishes, like curries and different spices and chipotle and, different, lots of different flavors, turmeric flavors, all these different kinds of things. And I've since become so obsessed with these different flavors. Like, I love how you can flavor things with so many different things. Also, extracts are really great for oatmeals or smoothies or whatever, like getting a coconut extract or a coffee extract, or, the little bottles, lemon extract. There's so many different flavors. I love putting those and stuff like that. And then lately, what's been happening is, because of the sugar thing, this is the same thing as with the sugar thing. It takes it's this mental barrier. I have to sort of deal with the fact that first I have to admit, yes, I need to have less of this thing, whether it's spinach or it's cocoa powder or it's sugar, whatever it is for you. Yes, I have to have less of this thing, but I'm not ready to give it up yet. And you guys have seen me say that in videos in the last month or two, like, I know I need to cut back on sugar. I'm not ready to yet, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm feeling ready. And so what's actually happened now, so you guys are witnessing this evolution happening right now, actually, instead of me just like blabbing about it. So I am very interested in high antioxidant foods. So that's why I sell the matcha green tea powder on my site, because I really believe in it. I think it's amazing to have extra antioxidants when you can. So the other very high antioxidant tea, which is much higher than matcha actually, surprisingly, is hibiscus tea. And so I'm actually sourcing some hibiscus tea so that I can sell it on my site as well, because I've started to drink it in the last few days and actually really love it. But how this relates is that hibiscus tea, look at this beautiful, beautiful, look at that color. It's so pretty. It's a much, much higher antioxidant food than matcha green tea, if you can believe it, because matcha's off the charts compared to everything else. Red wine, grape juice, everything. Green tea, like, it's off the charts, matcha. But then hibiscus is like that much higher on the chart. So these two foods, I really want to try to get these in my everyday if I can. But for me, the point of this is that hibiscus tea is very sour. Like, it's a very sour tea. Often when you see hibiscus, it'll be like that red zinger tea. It'll be mixed with some other types of herbal leaves or whatever so that you can get a better flavor out of it. But the thing is, I started drinking the hibiscus because I love the flavor, because I want the antioxidants, but I've started to love the flavor because of that. And so this morning, when I went to go, I was making this smoothie, and I was like, ooh, this is going to be sour because it doesn't have any sweet fruits in it at all, except for the one banana. But I was like, this is going to be really sour. So what I did to acclimate my taste buds was I had a sip of my hibiscus tea first because it's super sour. Then I had the smoothie, and I was like, oh, this is really good. Because you can do that with like orange juice. If you have some, if you brush your teeth and then have orange juice, your taste buds are super changed immediately. So you can mess with your taste buds in that way and make them be used to a sour flavor first, so something else will taste better first. So I did that because I've been having the hibiscus tea for a couple days in a row now. And I'm working, as I said, I'm working on getting some of it so that I can sell to you guys. But this is the new evolution here, is of the taste buds of, now I think I'm on day 3 of no sugar, and I'm doing like very, if I'm doing fruits, it's super low sugar fruits, like completely low sugar. So it's either green apples or it's berries. I'm doing a little bit of ripe banana here and there, but that's the sweetest thing I'm doing really. I have a couple cherry mois left, which I'm going to eat those when they're ripe, but other than that, I'm kind of done with sweet fruits right now. And I'm not doing any dates, no raisins, absolutely no sugar right now whatsoever, except for what I have to test today for recipes, but that's it. I'm weaning myself off, and so you can watch this like little evolution, as we go. So anyways, okay, that's what I wanted to talk about. I got my little hibiscus tea here. I got my crazy sour, but really delicious smoothie with tons of greens in it. I'm going to have this first, and I'll probably skip to some oatmeal something after this. But I'm filming all day today, and I want to know from you guys down below. Let me know down in the comments, what is something that you either have had to get rid of or want to but can't quite yet? What's something that you know is bad for you, but you either can't give it up yet or you have already? What's your sort of kryptonite that is something you've had to really let go of? Let me know down in the comments. Talk to you guys later. Bye. See that on the end of my straw? That's some extra fiber. Looks like I'm going to be eating at least a half of an apple sticker on my smoothie today. Guys, notice how it's only like a quarter of the sticker? I wonder where the other 3/4 is. Oops. I'm getting extra fiber today. All right, middle of filming's going on, but I'm hungry. So I'm making, well, I warmed up this kale mushroom casserole that I had from like forever ago to finish it off. But I added some of my lemon pine nut tahini dressing to it. It's amazing. I'm also roasting up some, ooh, hello, mushrooms in there. Just for some quick food to eat while I'm filming. Oh my gosh, these roasted mushrooms. Guys. See, here they are. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah. I only used a tiny spray of oil so they wouldn't stick to the foil. And then I roasted them for 20 minutes, 400 degrees. There's 8 ounces of mushroom. It's like a full container, like that, those pint-sized containers, you know? I'm going to eat this whole thing in like 10 minutes. Oh my god. Why have I never roasted mushrooms at home before? Having a little kombucha while I'm filming. And I really like this kind because not just this flavor, they have a few different flavors like this, but these Synergy ones, the GT Synergy, because they don't have any added sugar and no stevia or anything like that. I just like the flavors the way they are. Still going. Still filming, still cooking. Just finishing up recipe number 6. I'm gonna do the other 2 recipes tomorrow, and then I have to do all the final photos tomorrow. So, first glass of wine. This'll, I don't know, there's only a tiny bit left in this bottle. Well, actually that's not a tiny bit. I might finish this tonight, I'm not sure. I'm not a huge wine drinker. It always takes me forever to drink wine, which is a good thing, I think, but cheers. This is what your fridge looks like when you're doing recipes. There's like no space left. Oh my god. Alright, I had a couple mushroom fries and I'm gonna finish off this wine. Gonna watch TV. I'm gonna finish up my recipes tomorrow. Good night.